When Dean Elgar recently had announced his retirement after the two-test series against India, one of the players who absolutely went out of his way to ensure that Elgar got the kind of tributes he so richly deserved was this man here on your screen, Virat Kohli. You'd remember that Kohli more often than not was asking the crowd to give him an applause. And in fact, when Kohli had caught him in his final innings, he didn't actually choose to celebrate. He instead went up to him and congratulated him for a great career. So that was plenty of good sportsmanship, plenty of good camaraderie between the two. Kohli, in fact, even gave Elgar, let's say, a shirt which had his name on it and, of course, also had the signatures of all the players. Pretty nice, touching gestures, but a recent interview reveals that things weren't always so rosy between Elgar and Kohli. In fact, Elgar, in a recent interview on a podcast, claimed that Virat Kohli had actually spat on him during a tour. Now, the tour in this case is not exactly, let's say, specified, but it is speculated that the tour that Elgar is referring to is the 2015 tour that South Africa had of India, where they had come to India. They were the visiting side. They came, and Kohli had apparently misbehaved to the point that he actually spat at Elgar. Now, in case you're wondering what exactly he said, worry no further, because here is exactly what he said. He said that I came into bat and I was actually holding my own against Ashwin and Jadeja, and Kohli, he like spat at me. I mean, pretty simple, right? He's not even minced words. He's not gone roundabout, nothing of the sort. He said, look, I came into bat, I was actually really holding my own against the likes of Jadeja and Ashwin and on tracks that were definitely turning a fair bit. Saying, and Kohli was giving me, a few words here or there, and in the middle of all that, he spat at me. Now, obviously, that is something that is going to catch anyone off guard, but Elgar, being the battle-hardened person that he was, well, he had a not-so-subtle response to this, let's say, misbehavior on behalf of Kohli. Why? Because this is exactly what he said. He's saying, I told Virat Kohli, if you do that again, I'll absolutely knock you out. And AB de Villiers heard and eventually ended up finding out about the incident. Now again, this part is key to the third part of the story, because again, so far what you've heard from Elgar is saying that, look, Kohli spat at me, and Elgar details his response saying, I told him, you do that and I'll knock you out. And it is worth noting that this is a very editorialized version of his quote, because there's two versions, one which includes a few words that were so naughty that they had to be beeped out on the podcast itself. So far, definitely things aren't going really great between a young Virat Kohli and a Dean Elgar, who at that point was already a solidified seasoned veteran of the South African side. So how exactly did they get from there, where Kohli was spitting at him and being threatened by Elgar, to being so goody-goody friendly in this particular time period when Elgar was retiring? Well, obviously, you can say that Kohli was a changed man and Elgar was definitely just looking to enjoy his test series, but the two of them did actually end up making up. And in fact, this is how that story went. He said that AB, that is AB de Villiers, who at that point was Kohli's RCB teammate, said AB went up to him and said, but why are you spitting at my teammate? That's not on. 2 years later in South Africa, he says he wants to apologize for what he did. And in fact, Elgar would go on to tell the story about how not only did Kohli apologize for what he did, he actually asked him that, look, after the series is done, can we meet for a few drinks? Can we sit and talk about things? I want to apologize. They did sit, they shared a few drinks, and they stayed up till about 3 a.m. at night. In fact, Elgar jokingly said that, this is back when he was obviously a little bit more free in that regard. He's saying now he's a changed man, always focused on his fitness and discipline. He probably won't be drinking that much anymore. Saying, but back then, both of them stayed up till about 3 a.m., shot the breeze, apologized. In fact, Kohli apologized for his own behavior. And as they said, well, he's now the best of friends, to the point where Kohli was the man who was serenading Dean Elgar as he was retiring from the sport of Test cricket. Interesting story, and definitely does shine, let's say, a new light on the kind of behavior that Kohli has been often accused of in the past, something that has turned off a great many fans, where people say, at times his passion gets the better of him. He can be a little too in your face. I mean, taking Elgar's words at face value here, Kohli quite literally spat in the face of his opponents. Not exactly the best look, but full credit has to be given to both men that they were able to move past it. Kohli for apologizing, Elgar for actually accepting that apology, and now it's just one of those fun stories we can discuss on platforms such as these. But what are your thoughts on the entire matter? We'd love to hear from you, so let us know that in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell icon as well. Also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Don't forget to download the Sports the Cap, and if you're already on the channel, well, then go right ahead, check out some other videos we've done as well. For now, from my side, it's bye-bye.